What's up, y'all? My name's Max.
My name's Annie.
And we just saw
Creed 3.
Creed 3.
Your timing.
She fucked up the timing, but we saw Creed 3. Alright, guys, so initial thoughts on the movie. Going into it, we saw Creed 1 and 2 like 2 weeks ago. I liked the first one, it wasn't crazy. But the second one, that shit was ass. But the trailer for this one looked really good. So I really wanted to see this one. Rocky wasn't going to be in it, but to be honest, I didn't really like Rocky in the first two. I felt like they showed him too much and it wasn't that interesting. They should have showed Creed more. So I think it was a good thing he wasn't in this one. But overall, I like the movie. What you think?
Initially, I like the actor that they're bringing in.
Jonathan Majors.
Yes, Jonathan Majors. I know he was a good actor, so initially I knew it was going to be a good movie. I did think it was going to be crazy because the last two, they were always, I would always rate them like about at most an 8, I would say.
That's kind of high.
Yeah.
I thought the first was like a 6 and the second was like a 5 or 4.
Yeah, that's pretty low. Yeah, but I didn't think it was going to be like a crazy movie, but I knew it was going to be a decent movie.
Yeah, the trailer looked like really good and Michael B. Jordan directed it, but
yeah.
Overall I liked the movie. Alright, so pros of the movie, the things I liked. The movie looked really nice. The CGI, the fighting scenes, just the overall shots, them shits look fire.
I don't think it had CGI.
Yeah, it did. Like when, well, there's spoilers in this, but like when they were fighting and the whole ring turned black. That's like CGI, yeah. I guess, or whatever you want to call it. The special effects, that shit look crazy. The acting, well, it was pretty solid. Like Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors, they did a good job. I feel like this is the first Creed movie where I actually care about what's going on, like, and it wasn't so tied to Rocky's legacy or whatever. But like the thing with Jonathan Majors' character, I actually liked him in the beginning, and then they do that little switch, and then you stop liking him and you want him to lose. But I was actually like invested in what was going on, and I felt like the other two movies, like, it just felt too much like oh, Rocky this, Rocky that, where Creed was like the side character. But I felt like this one, like, you actually want Creed to win, you actually care about what he's going through and his family, whatever. And I think it was good that they brought Jonathan Majors in because he played a good villain. Like, it's the same thing like Ant-Man. Like, he was one of the standout parts of the movie. What you thought?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, in this movie, I liked how they focused more on Michael Jordan. What's his actual name in the thing?
Creed.
Yeah. Yeah, I like how this movie, out of the three of them, it focused more on his, like, story.
Yeah.
And how they tied Jonathan Majors into that. So it kind of made you care about Creed and Jonathan Majors a little bit more, rather than the last two movies, how we didn't really care about the antagonist so much personally. But
yeah,
they were still good fight structure. And I still like how they shot the fight scenes too.
The fights are crazy.
Yeah, that's what's consistent about the Creed movies. Like, all the fight scenes have been very good.
Yeah, the fighting's really good, but like she said, like the first movie, the Ricky Conlon, I didn't really care about him. Like, it was cool seeing them fight, but it didn't really give him a lot of character growth. The second one with Drago, it was more focused on the dad than the son. The son like barely had any lines. I like how they brought him back this movie, and you actually saw him interact with Creed.
Yeah.
But Jonathan Majors like his best villain or opponent so far, because you actually like see him, and yeah, he was just a good part of the movie.
And they both looked very buff. Like,
yeah, they're brolic, bro.
They're brolic.
Jonathan Majors too. I didn't think he was that fucking brolic.
And I like how I wonder if you said this last night. I wonder if they actually studied like other boxers, because you could see how both of them boxed very differently.
Yeah. Like, I wonder if they actually like learn how to like professionally box for this movie, or if it's all like, because like when you're seeing the fights, you don't really see a lot of cutaways where you could be like, oh, that's a stunt double. Like, it looks like you just see him getting his ass beat, which is cool. But anyways, on to the next topic. All right, now, so cons of the movie. A lot of the dialogue, there were some good spots, but there was a lot of corny spots where you're just like, yo, who wrote this? Like, Creed's wife, in the first two movies, I was telling you this yesterday, but in the first two movies, she wasn't that annoying. But this movie, bro, every time she opened her mouth, I rolled my eyes and cringed because she's like, D, you gotta talk about your feelings. It was just so fucking annoying, bro. And then like the mom, like I felt like a lot of parts of the story just got left out. Like they were brought up and left out because there was a, like the spot with the mom, for example, once they said the mom had a stroke in the beginning, I knew she was gonna die or something like later on in the movie. Like that was obvious. But then I feel like she died and they did nothing with her death. Like they showed them bury her, but like when she was dying, it was kind of sad. I was gonna cry, but she had this like whole corny ass spot where I'm just like, all right, bro, you're saying the most corniest shit right now, right before you die. And then she died, and it's like they didn't mention her like at all after that. Like she died and they didn't bring her up a single time throughout the movie after that. Like it would have been funny if like, well, not funny, but it would have been more interesting if Jonathan Majors, like after she died, when he was on the news talking, if he went on the phone and he's like, oh, your mom would be ashamed, and that got Creed tight. But like he didn't even mention his mom once. He could have said, yo, sorry about your mom or something, but they just like used her death as like a reason to get Creed mad. But Creed was already mad, and then they just didn't go back to it. And then Jonathan Majors, like I said, he was a standout of the film, but I feel like it was like Ant-Man where he was really good and I wish they showed him more. But like after like the whole like first half, they kind of stopped showing him and you don't really see what happens with him after the fight. I would have wanted there to be like a better talk between him and Creed at the end where they kind of like, you know, settle their differences and become friends again. But they just had like a 2-minute talk and then Creed just left and we don't see him again. That's the end of him. So, you know, I wish we saw more of him, but like I said, overall, I liked it more than I disliked it. What'd you thought?
Yeah, I thought that a lot of the dialogue was very, very corny. I think, like, besides how Jonathan and Creed talk to each other, I think those dialogue spots were okay. But I think every character interaction that they've had was just super, like, not
superficial.
Yeah, that was superficial. It was just like very corny. Like I wouldn't really see a family talk like this, so it just kind of like made me not care. And like the whole thing about the movie that they kept telling Creed was like, oh, you have to find a different way to handle your anger. Like they said that with the daughter thing where she started fighting, how you want her to handle all her problems with fighting. They said that with the wife, like, oh, how he needs to communicate with the wife more. He said this with the mom, how they need to communicate more and, like, stop fighting like his dad did. They said that point with every single person. And then at the end, when he actually talks to Jonathan,
it was ass.
It was just, like, the most, like, oh, we were kids. Yeah, I forgive you. And that's it. Like, they should have just had a more heartfelt thing. Like, I felt like it should have had more, like, I felt like that scene could have been more passionate than it was, you know?
Yeah.
Like, more vulnerable. Like, sure, they cried, but, like, it wasn't really that deep. Like, he could have went more in depth about, like, what he did wrong and shit. And then made up as brothers. But when they made up, it wasn't even that clear.
Yeah, like, I told her before we saw the movie, like, I thought, like, we were making predictions, and I said, like, oh, it'd be cool if at the end, you know, they fight, Creed wins, but then they start training at the gym together to, like, train new boxers or whatever, being that the other guy's old, and he's like, yo, you know, just because you didn't live your legacy doesn't mean you can't still, like, contribute like Creed was doing. So I thought it would have been cool if they did that, but like I said, he just had, like, a half-assed conversation and then never showed him again. And the conversation was something that we heard the entire movie, like, yo, you were just kids. Yeah. And then Creed didn't even say that. It was just the other guy. He's like, yeah, we were kids. And it never showed him come to the realization, like, yeah, I should forgive him because it was like 20 years ago. But I don't know. Some of the dialogue was just ass, bro.
I'd say most of the dialogue was ass.
Yeah. Like, Jonathan Majors, his dialogue was valid. Creed sometimes, but his wife, his mom.
But to be honest, that was expected. Like, I had that initially because in the last two movies, the dialogue was superficial too. Yeah. It didn't really, like, say much, you know?
Yeah, but other than the dialogue, like I said, we liked it more than we disliked it, right?
Yeah.
Alright, but let's go overall thoughts. I'll give the movie better than the first one, better than the second one. I think it's the third one, the first one, and then the second one in that order. I give the movie like a 7.6, 7.8. I enjoyed it. Not the, like, I'm not gonna say the best movie that came out in the last 2 years, but I think it's the best Creed movie. And I would see it again. And the soundtrack was really good too.
Oh yeah, because it was Dreamville.
Yeah.
And there was a J. Cole song.
Yeah, when J. Cole came on, bro, in that theater, I nutted myself. That's all I'm gonna say. But I like the movie. I would go see it. Definitely recommend seeing it. 7.8. What you give it?
Yeah, I'd give it somewhere around a 7. I'd 7 to a 7.5. It wasn't the best movie ever, but if you like boxing movies, I would just watch it.
Yeah, and if you like the trailer, I think you'll like the movie.
Yeah.
Because it's like one of those movies, like the trailer got me hype. I'm like, oh, this trailer made me want to see the other two. And I like this one. So I think it was good in that aspect. But Creed, solid movie. I hope they keep doing more of it. Hopefully they bring Jonathan back, because it would be kind of a waste if they didn't.
Yeah, I feel like that they opened up a whole dialogue with the daughter thing. Now there's a stretch, but I feel like they might do like a female boxing thing. But I don't know. Maybe not.
I was telling her it would kind of be weird, because like if the daughter is deaf, how's she gonna hear when the bell goes off?
I don't know. You can show her.
But yeah, I just think it was too, like, I know it's his third movie, but it's too early to be like, oh, he's retiring. Like, he's still in his like young 30s, bro. Like,
yeah, I'm guessing the gaps between the movies is a big gap.
Yeah, but hopefully they keep doing more. I heard that he already like confirmed Creed 4, so.
Because the kid is 12, so in the second movie she was in her
stomach.
Just born. She was just born, so I'm guessing 12 years.
Yeah, they say he retired for 3 years, but hopefully they keep going. I want to see more Creed. I like Creed, but yeah, that's the review.
Bye.
Peace out.
Wake up out the door, it's time to get this money. So many pitfalls in my life, that shit ain't even funny. Them rainy nights had them days looking mad sunny. My clothes nice, remember when them shits was mad.